Hi, I'm Terry Colab, and I am here with Ray Boyce in his lovely apartment in Rosemont. And we have with us two versions of William Shakespeare. What is this William Shakespeare about, Ray? Tell me.
This guy? He's
Yeah.
a punching Shakespeare. So if you say anything not proper during this interview, I'll hit you with a left and maybe cross with a right.
Ray Boyce has been bringing us Shakespeare classes for a number of years, and a number of hours of time have gone into it. And through all this time, it's come to my attention that we can't get everything in the classes, Ray, can we?
No, not at all.
Because we're focused on plays.
That's right. So it's been quite an experience.
It has, and now Jackie has let us come to your beautiful Rosemont apartment and talk about William Shakespeare the man. And there's just so much to cover about William Shakespeare. It's fascinating to me, right off the bat, that we still use so many of his words and phrases.
Well, he's credited with inventing or bringing into the language 2,500 words and expressions. The language was going through a great change. It was coming from Latin to Middle English and Old English and eventually into Chaucer's time. And then eventually at this period of time when he was living, the language was undergoing quite a development. So it was natural, I guess, and predictable that he would find expressions, he would invent some expressions and words.
And it's such great fun, but it's also interesting that way back in the end of the 1500s, he was saying things that we don't even really know are attributed to him anymore. Let's just say a couple of them. Faint-hearted. Fight fire with fire.
Bated breath. Wear your heart on your sleeve.
Good riddance. Come what may.
Off with his head.
Wild goose chase.
Fair play, foul play.
Dead as a doornail. I mean, what a way with words. And we say these and we probably don't even think about William Shakespeare as they're just such a part of our language. Well, there were other things going on at that time that makes it kind of fascinating. You've shared them with us little bits through the classes. Tell us a little more.
Well, he was born during the Elizabethan era. The good Queen Elizabeth I, her period of time was not one of great freedom and great relaxation. It was not a good time to live in England for sure. There was tremendous turmoil both religiously and socially. And it was difficult for people of any religion other than membership in the Church of England to practice their faith. And lots of women, as an example, had no rights at all. They could not own property. They could not act in the plays. All of the plays were done by men.
Dressed as women.
Dressed as women. Young men would play Desdemona or Juliet.
Amazing. And all of this is going on when there isn't much else going on to entertain us. There's music, there's theater, there are some books.
There was bear baiting. I mean, the big thing over on the side of the river in London was bear baiting, and lots of other places we won't make reference to. But there was not a lot of alternative. There was great illiteracy among the people, the lower classes. There was not. Just think about it. The printing press didn't come until 1455, 56. But all that was happening in Shakespeare's time, in the Elizabethan period, and eventually led to some references in his plays, like in The Tempest and other places where a brave new world will be created going forward. So the people and the playwrights were very aware of what was going on, this kind of thing with the exploration. Commerce was opening up, and the Dutch India Company, for example, was opening the British India Company. Henry Hudson eventually landed in the Hudson River in the late 16th, 17th century. So it was a period of time just before that real explosion, and it all started then. And not to mention just in literature, but in commerce and in religion as well.
So it's fascinating for you to study in your lifelong learning pursuit Shakespeare the man as well as the
Absolutely,
plays.
absolutely.
Now, did this give him license to perhaps say things that weren't so officially
Approved?
approved?
Yeah.
Because
Well, there was tremendous censorship, and there was tremendous monitoring of what was said and done on the stages of it, and there was lots of competition and lots of different playwrights But yeah, but they had to have patronage. They had to be careful of what they said. But for some reason, he had good patronage. He was a member of the King's Men. Before that, the Lord Chamberlain's players, and he had some people who were his actual patrons. How he was a good politician as well as a great playwright.
So a playwright, an author, a poet.
A real estate man. He made a lot of. He became what's known as the richest man in Stratford, and made a lot of money because they made money on the plays. He made some money on the play when they were performed, but some money off the printing, but not much because the printers really made the money then. He made some money off his sonnets, and he made some. A couple of the plays did okay, but mostly it was the real estate and his theater, his income as a theater owner, art owner.
So quite an entrepreneur. It was fascinating to me in 2016 when we looked at commemorating 400. The entire world was looking at Shakespeare. And I think we were all, those of us who aren't lifelong learners with the study of Shakespeare, were amazed at how this man in that time did something that still resonates with almost everyone.
Yeah, it's vibrant. There was relevant today. We just did a reading of Measure for Measure, and you could lift paragraphs out of the play that could serve as a credo for the women's movement today. The subject matter is so relevant, so pertinent to today's developments, and continues to be that way.
So he just had a pulse on human emotion.
That's a good way to put it, I think.
Well, thank you so much, Ray, for sharing with us.
My pleasure. Thank
and
you.
even today, a little bit of Shakespeare the Man.
Absolutely. Thank you.